Hey guys, welcome back. Today we are looking at the Ryobi 18 volt hybrid propane forced air heater. It's the P3180. Stay tuned, we're gonna open it up and try it out. Before we open up the box, we are gonna look at a couple of specs. First off, this is the hybrid unit, which means that it has the ability to be used with an 18 volt 1+ battery or an extension cord. So the 120 volt AC extension cord or an 18 volt 1+ battery. Another thing to note is this puts out 15,000 BTUs. It has 1.5 hours of runtime with the 1 pound propane tank, but it has 5 hours of runtime with the P108 4 amp hour battery. So a lot of runtime as far as the battery concerned, but it's going to take several little 1 pound propane tanks to get through that 5 hours. Last thing is that it comes in at 8.5 pounds. All right, that's enough with the specs on the box. Let's go ahead and open this one up. Just some tape there, just the top. All right, looks like it is all just one unit here. So we'll just slide the whole thing out like that. That is everything in the box. We're empty there. Operator's manual and a couple of warning labels in different languages. Felt like there was something else on there. Go ahead and get the heater out. That in there. So size-wise, it's pretty comparable with the other unit that we have, the Dynaglow. But let's go ahead and get it out of the plastic. There it is. All right, so we'll start off with a couple of the features on this unit. First off, right on top, we have a carry handle. Interesting, the grip is actually backwards in my opinion. I would think that you want the grip that way, but it does make it nice to pick it up and just start walking. It's gonna dangle like that. So it's convenient, it's nice that it has a handle there. If we turn it around on the front, on this side, there is the start sequence. And so the first thing that you have to do to start it, once you have the battery and you have the propane plugged in, is press the on-off button. This will go to an orange. So it makes an orange glow. This little light underneath the power button glows orange. And then you can hit the ignite. Now you have to press and hold, and it's a pretty hard button to push. You got to really push in on it to get it to ignite. And then once you've held it, it will turn this button right here, or the light rather, it'll turn that light green. So as we move around, the next thing here on the back is the propane attachment. This is where you put in the propane, so you can screw on the 1 gallon. Now what they've done is they've made this just tall enough that the 1 gallon tank fits perfectly right there, so it doesn't rest on the bottom, it sits just perfectly right there. And then if we turn it underneath, and this is kind of an interesting design in my opinion, is the power is all underneath, which is okay for the batteries. The batteries can sit, and again, they dangle just tall enough. But for the power cord, it's kind of an interesting design choice to have the power so that it has to come out and then make a hard turn in one direction or another. So there's no other area to put the power cord. I would have thought they'd want it on a side or something like that. But regardless, that's where it is. Battery right here and your power cord right there. All right guys, so we have our 1 pound propane tank here. We have our 1+ 18 volt battery. So the first thing we're gonna do is put in or screw on the propane tank. So we take off the cap protector here. like so. One of the things we struggled with as far as the propane goes is just making sure that we get this threaded just right and it goes all the way up into the receiver. So when you're putting this on, you almost have to get an angle at it to get this to go all the way up and onto the unit. In fact, it's just kind of at a weird angle, but you have to make sure that it goes all the way up. Otherwise, what'll happen is you won't get propane. Nice and secure. And again, it sets down and does not rest on the table or the ground wherever you're going to have this. And then we'll go ahead and connect the battery. And again, the battery on this side underneath. Flip that around. Now, one of the nice things about this design choice is that it does leave the reader accessible. So if you have any of the lithium plus, any of the batteries that have the readout or the LED signal here, you can see that. You don't have to go underneath the unit. We have seen that too many times with the Ryobi tools where they hide the LED indicator. So good design choice in this case. All right, now that we have the propane and the battery, now we're ready for the startup sequence. Again, the startup sequence is we're going to hit the power button. This will turn the light orange, and then we'll immediately hit the gas valve button. This will allow propane to come through, which it will then start clicking. The fan will turn on, and then it'll ignite. So we'll turn it this way just a little bit. Hopefully you can see, we'll do this in two different phases. So we'll start it this way, and then we'll start it so you can see it igniting. So first we'll go ahead and hit the on. You'll see the light. We'll hit the gas valve. It will start to flicker. And you'll notice the light's green now. It will continue to click as it's starting there. And then to shut it off, all we need to do is hit the power button, and it's now off. And again, here from the front view, so you can see down the barrel, we'll go ahead and hit the on and then hit the gas valve. You'll see it start to ignite. And it's going to, again, keep clicking. It's trying to make sure that flame stays lit. It's got a lot of heat right here. I mean, that just goes basically straight up. The projection, because the fan's not really good, the projection is not great. I'm about a foot off the end, but up here, we're talking almost 2 feet above the barrel, and I can feel that. Especially right, yeah, almost 2-3 feet. This is, yeah, it's clear up here. So very little projection, and definitely a lot of height off it. But there's heat coming off. Pretty cool. It is extremely quiet. When the flame's the loudest part, louder than the fan, I guess that tells you something. That would be nice if at least if it had a dial for the fan that could actually give it some projection, could actually allow it to push that heat a little bit further. It would be louder, obviously, with a fan, but I think that'd be nice. Otherwise, though, for a small area, this is pretty sweet. It's nice and quiet, puts off plenty of heat. I mean, this would fill a small room. Probably not a 3-car garage like we're in right now, but a small 1-car garage. Yeah, I mean, it would fill that up. Or if you're just right next to it for a little bit, it's got some good heat. All right, guys, now in a quest for unlimited runtime, or mostly unlimited runtime, we went and picked up the adapter, which takes the 1-pound nozzle and fits it to the 15-pound propane tank. So we can do a 15-pound or one of the bigger propane tanks with this, and then we've got the adapter to go to our unit here, and we're using the 120 AC power cord adapter here. So on the bottom of the unit, again, we find the power right under there, which is the second thing that we do. First, we're going to connect up the propane. So we'll go ahead and do that now. And Connect it here. That is much easier. Wow, that was awesome. Okay, then we can open the propane there. No leaks. Now that we know that there's no leaks between the propane and the heater, now we can go ahead and plug in our cord here, which goes on the bottom on that side, and that is interesting. Apparently, if the receiver is too big, it has little plastic things that restrict the size of the extension cord that you can plug in. It's kind of strange, haven't seen that before. So we'll go ahead and grab another extension cord. All right guys, now we have a different extension cord. We'll go ahead and again flip this over here. Go ahead and plug that in. And it is really picky. That is a very tight fit. I think part of it is it holds it in place, but again, that's an interesting choice that it doesn't allow for a bigger power cord. Regardless, we've got the power cord, we have the propane tank, propane is on. Now we can go ahead and hit our ignition, and then we'll open the propane valve. So we'll go ahead and open and ignite. All right guys, so our first thoughts on this one, it is really cool for a lot of reasons and maybe not as practical for a lot of other reasons. 1500 BTUs is just not a lot. So if you have a small space, this is a great heater. If you have a bigger space, it's gonna take a while, and without the fan, the heat is literally just gonna go straight up. There is no projection on this whatsoever. So the heat is right here. It's going straight up. If you go even out a foot, you can't hardly feel anything at all. Very little projection to this, if any at all. So small space, it's pretty cool, especially with the unlimited runtime of a power cord. If you get the adapting system here, you can use a bigger tank. So for those reasons, it's really cool. But for us, in most of the spaces that we're in, it's gonna be a bigger space, or we're going to want it actually blowing to us. We don't wanna have to stand within a foot of the heating unit itself. So we're gonna want something more along the 30,000 to 60,000 BTUs, which means that it's gonna be louder, but it's going to do the job. It's going to be a better heater for us. Again, this is a great heater for what it is, but just understand that it's not a big unit, it's not a big heater, and it definitely doesn't have the capabilities of some of those other units. One really nice thing about this unit, guys, is the portability. The ability to grab a battery and a portable tank with the unit, everything plugged in. You could probably shouldn't, but you could technically carry this entire unit and it wouldn't weigh very much. You're gonna be about 15 pounds or so. So for the entire unit to weigh that much and be able to produce heat without power, without electricity, just with a battery and a small propane tank is really awesome. And the ability to go from this to this with longer runtime and unlimited power is really cool. That flexibility is really awesome. One of the things we noticed, guys, that was kind of strange about this unit when we were starting it is we had it running for a short amount of time, turned it off, and then went to turn it back on, and it said that it was overheated. It had the flashing orange light, which tells us that it's too hot and it's not ready to start yet, which is really interesting. We didn't run it very long for our first initial test, and so for it to do that right away kind of gives us some doubt. We've run it even longer now and are skeptical whether or not it will start up or whether we have to wait for it to cool down in between startups. So especially where this is meant to use the 1 pound tanks, which are going to run out quickly, it means that you can't just swap in a new tank immediately after one has run out. It means you're gonna have to wait in between, which doesn't give a lot of confidence if you're trying to stay warm with this or you're trying to use it for that purpose. So just another thing to note if you're looking at this unit. The other thing we really like about this, guys, is just how quiet it is. We can have a conversation and it really is not giving off much noise at all. It's very, very quiet. Compared to other units that it can be loud and almost hurt your ears, this unit is awesome for how quiet it is. One other thing we wish this had, and we mentioned it already, is a dial or a fan that we could dial up and dial down as we wanted to help with that projection issue. So in a future unit, that would be a really cool thing. Maybe just a little bit bigger with a fan and then a dial that allowed you to make that projection what you want. Send the flame or the heat out a little bit further would be really cool. All right, guys, thanks for watching. That's it for today. If you liked the video, as always, make sure to hit that like button. It really does help us out. Lets us know you're enjoying the content. If you like our channel, make sure to hit the subscribe button and the bell icon because we upload new videos each and every week, including this week where we've been uploading a video every single day as our 12 days of Christmas. Also, make sure to check out the links in the description below for more information on what we're doing. As always, comment below to let us know what tool you want to see next. Thanks for watching, guys. The first thing we're going to do, if we read the instructions here. The unit will automatically shut off during any of the following conditions: flame out, over temperature, or low voltage. It's good to know. Okay, if the flow of air becomes blocked or the temperature inside the unit is too high, the unit will automatically shut off and the LED will flash orange. A flash orange light indicates operation error. Make sure the propane tank is empty or the flame accidentally extinguished. Low power. Okay, cool. One really nice thing about this is the portability, with the ability to and we're also using the 120 volt DC, AC? DC? Dun, 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 dun. Powered by the 18 volt 1 plus battery or an a skid plate. That's it. It's not complicated. It literally just goes straight up. It might as, I mean, literally, this might as well just be like this. Might be a campfire. Yeah, exactly. Just straight up, because out, there is no out. There is no out. I mean, it is right there and up to here. So was it not on?
I just screwed it in a lot more than...
Holy crap, yeah, you screwed in a freaking ton. Hallelujah. Oh, she's alive. Seriously, this was supposed to be like the quick, easy video. Opened up and there was no issue. We want unlimited runtime. Okay. Yeah, there is zero projection. I mean, right there, a foot away, and you're almost, it's almost cold.
Feel heat waves.
Yeah, yeah, you can't feel it.
I can't feel heat waves.
Yeah. And cut.
Now try to start it.
On. I don't know, that was twice as long. Easily twice as long. And with the, it is running, right? I don't know. Maybe it was just a fluke.
It's more finicky than it should be, though.
Yeah. It's one of those things. Maybe it comes up, maybe it doesn't. I love this, though. This setup.